Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Scotch and Smoke Rings episode 367. I am your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn, and I'm late. I know. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I am not typically late, at least not this late. I'm 11 minutes, 17 minutes late. 17 minutes late. I'm surprised many of you have actually stuck around, but the reason I am so late is manifold. Number one, I've had a busy day at work. And the reason for that is because I'm actually going on a business trip tomorrow. And number two, I released a new video yesterday. Actually, this morning. A big tour of my vault. And it was a huge video. Took a lot of time. And number three, because I'm getting ready to leave, I'm having to upload and schedule videos to publish while I'm gone. So I've been uploading videos for the past 5 days straight, just to get stuff going. And a video is still uploading, and I thought it would be done by now, but it's sadly not. So I am waiting for that to finish, and it's still uploading right now. And I hope it doesn't interfere with the program. Let's see, where are we at? We're at 82%. Hopefully that doesn't interfere with the program, but we should be good to go. Oliver 17 says, you forgot your suspenders. Yes, in the chaos that was today, I have forgotten my suspenders. Sydney Aldrich says, you got a cigar? Indeed, I do have a cigar. No, I don't. I just lost my cigars. Where'd they go? Here's one. I had a backup. There it is. There's my backup cigar. Sydney Aldrich says, wet socks? No, no wet socks. Last week was horrible. Oh, it was so bad. Oh, that cigar I had last week, I've never had anything so bad in all my smoking life. It was such a horrible cigar. So I went out and I got some nice, well, not necessarily nice, but decent cigars. I've got an Onyx Black here, and it's a mid-range cigar, you know. It's not like a $20 cigar or anything like that, but it's definitely not a $3 cigar I bought from some antique shop in the middle of Kentucky 5 years ago. So, there's a difference. There's a difference. Alright, where's my ashtray? There we go. And we're gonna cut this just right. Because we don't want it to unravel during the show. My lighter's about to die. Rum? Says Sydney. No. No rum today, thank God. It's actually Scotch and Smoke Rings today. You know, the name of the show, thankfully. Last week was rum and wet socks. It was horrible rum, too. Oh, that Bacardi rum was nasty. It was toothpaste and wet socks. This stuff, this rum right here, it tastes like toothpaste. It's got this minty flavor to it, and it's because it's a mixing rum. This is designed for mixed drinks, not for drinking straight. So it was horrible. Wet socks and toothpaste. Today is actually Scotch and Smoke Rings. I've got a 10-year bottle of Glencullen that we're going to be drinking together, so things are a little better. The only drawback is, as I was grabbing a glass, I found it's a cracked glass. So, as in life, there is cracked paint on our picture frame. Oh! And a dead fly. What are we going to do? We don't have a glass. There's a dead fly in my glass. I can't drink scotch from a cracked glass with a dead fly in it. Does that mean we're going to have to drink straight from the bottle? Like a hobo? Or a Philistine? That's not what we do. We don't drink straight from the bottle. Oh man, the quandary. I either drink straight from the bottle like a hobo, or we don't have scotch for Scotch and smoke rings. Here, I know what we're going to do. Watch this. There we go. The quandary has solved itself. Yes, that's self-censorship. The best kind of censorship. Drank that a little too fast. Trevor Green says your camera is choppy. Sorry. As I said at the beginning of the video, I am uploading a video to YouTube. I have to get 4 to 5 days worth of content uploaded onto YouTube and scheduled to publish over the next 3 or 4 days so that my YouTube channel isn't dead over the weekend, because I'm going to be out of town on a business trip. So sadly, that means we might have a little bit of a choppy stream today, and I apologize for that. Dane7902 says, enjoying a predominantly Habana with you. Good show, old chap. And I'm so glad that you're here today. Thank you very much for your comment. Zach McKay says, what nationality are you? Thetan? Thetan, is that the word? No, I'm American. I don't know what I am beyond that. I'm like many Americans, I'm a grab bag of ethnicities. I'm a little bit of Irish, a little bit of English, and like almost every American in existence, I've got a tinge of Native American in me. Like 6%. Something like that. What else am I? I don't know. I've never done one of those tests. What's it called? Like 23andMe or something. Where you can go and spend $200 and then a month later they send you a big list of a breakdown of where you came from, where your ancestors came from. I've been meaning to do that, but I've just I don't know. It's $200. It's a lot of money. You can do a lot with $200. I could spend $200 on something like that and then get a piece of paper, and for the next 15 minutes I'm like, oh, interesting. $200 well spent. Or I could take that money and, I don't know, invest it in the stock market. The Bancy Fatcher says, good on you for getting back into YouTube, Oxhorn. I hope you go far. Well, thank you very much. For those who don't know, I'm sure many of my new YouTube viewers may not know this, but this is actually my second foray into the YouTube scene. 10 years ago, I started with my World of Warcraft videos, my Oxhorn brand movies, and those were a blast. I had a lot of fun. I officially retired in 2013 to focus on my career. I even released this big video. Did a big deal about it. Published it to my other YouTube channel, like Oxhorn is retiring. And stayed away for 3 years. But I had to come back. So here I am working on new videos. Sydney says 6% Native American, 5% Irish, 89% class. Indeed. Calb2390 says, "This is my first time watching Scotch and Smoke Rings. What happens here, man?" Not much. This is pretty much what happens here. I drink a little scotch. I smoke a little cigar. We chat. And that's about it. Typically, after about an hour, I'll switch to playing a video game. You've heard of those newfangled video games the kids are playing these days with the Nintendos and the Pokemons and the Super Mario Bros. With the plumbers and the overalls? Yeah. Well, that's what we do. Usually Overwatch. I switch to Overwatch, and we'll play that for a good 40 minutes to an hour. So that's the plan for tonight. Greg Hartung asks, "Where are you heading on your trip, Oxhorn? Is it anywhere near Tampa, Florida? I can show you some sights and be a most gracious host." If only, but no. I'm going on a business trip to San Diego, and I will be sequestered in my boss's residence for 4 days straight. We're having a big senior management mind meld where all of the senior managers from all over the world are getting together in one house, and we're going to think company for 4 days, which is going to be great. You know, I'm glad that we're going to be doing this, but I won't be able to see anybody else while I'm there. The Great Azal says, "Have you ever streamed any Fallout 4? I have in the past, but I don't know. So the reason that I stream Overwatch during my show is because Overwatch is a multiplayer game, and many of the fans like to join me. So I'll actually group up with many of you watching right now, and we'll run around and kill things. You sadly can't do that in Fallout 4. So I tend not to use that during the show." Any thoughts about Nuka World? First time watcher here, says Henrik Gran. I'm really excited about Nuka World. I wish that I could get an official release date from Bethesda on it. Everything I've heard has said end of August, so we're thinking August 31st, something like that. And but I'm looking forward to it. We've been getting all of the different patches for Fallout 4 that have been getting the settlement building system ready for Nuka World, which is leading me to believe that there are going to be new settlement items you can build thanks to Nuka World, which surprises me, because I always thought the Vault-Tec DLC was going to be the final DLC for settlement builders. But many people who have been data mining the recent patches from Bethesda for Fallout 4 have noticed a few new scripting basically what they've done is they've reorganized the way that the settlement menu has worked to accommodate new items that might be coming with Nuka World, which is exciting. So as a settlement builder, that's going to be interesting. But as also somebody who just enjoys playing the base game, I am excited to explore a brand new world and to kill a bunch of raiders. It's going to be fun. Dane7902 says, "Born and raised in San Diego. If you would like any sights to see, let me know." Thanks. I wish I had time to do some sightseeing, but I probably won't have any time for sightseeing. Greg Hartung says, nice, while you're in San Diego, I recommend seeking out a place called Phil's Barbecue. They have a tri-tip beef sandwich that's saturated in barbecue sauce and looks absolutely superb. Well, that does indeed sound good. Who knows, maybe sometime I'll be able to swing by Phil's Barbecue. Sydney says, I've been too lazy to get around to buying the workshop DLCs. Are they worth it? Only if you're into workshops to building settlements. If you are, then yes, they're very much worth it. The Vault-Tec DLC opens up an entirely new crafting menu that allows you to build really cool, elaborate structures, including vaults. And the nice thing about the Vault-Tec DLC is you can build vaults inside the cave, the new cave that comes with Vault-Tec DLC, or in any other settlement that's above ground. In fact, I have a video that I'm uploading right now that is showing off an above-ground settlement that I built using the Vault-Tec tiles. So I'm really excited to share that with you. Chris Reese says, the lovable Oxhorn. Smoke on, my friend. Smoke on. Cheers to you, good sir. Happy days. Thoughts on Skyrim Special Edition? I'm excited about it, particularly because I have not played Skyrim yet. Well, I take that back. It was gifted to me. Skyrim was gifted to me via Steam, and I've done a few shows, actually, where I've played Skyrim live on the program. But aside from an hour or so of walking around the first area, I think I got bit by a vampire and lost in a cave, killed a few guards. Aside from that... I have not played Skyrim, so the new version is going to make it that much more compelling for me to play Skyrim. Trevor Green says, well, Trevor Green, I actually don't see that username. Oh, there we go. Banned! I had to scroll up, but I got him. The Bansy Fadger says, it's hard to believe that Bethesda once sold cosmetic horse armor for $10. Now they make good DLCs for the money. That's always been my thing. Like, people will say, hey, are the Vault-Tec, is the Vault-Tec DLC worth it? Or is the Contraptions Workshop DLC worth it? And they're just $5. Both of those DLCs are just $5 each. If you didn't get the $30 grab bag at the beginning, I think it was in March or something like that. And compared to many of the other games out there, like Elder Scrolls Online, where you need to pay $30 for some rare amount, I'm sitting here going, yes, yes, compared to almost any other microtransaction that you can buy online, yes, it's worth it. You could buy a pretty little shiny cat mount for your Elder Scrolls Online game, or you can buy an entire DLC that comes with a new place to explore, and quests, and vault building supplies, and all sorts of stuff. In my opinion, it's very much worth $5, especially since the majority of us go out every day to a Starbucks or to some other breakfast shop and spend more than $5 on a fast food breakfast to go. Samuel says, hey there, Oxhorn, I love the videos. It's the closest I can get to Fallout 4 while I'm in training. Well, I'm glad that you can stop by and check out the videos while you're in training. Hopefully, once you finish training, you'll have the time and opportunity to play the game yourself, because that's always a lot of fun. So, well wishes to you there. Roland1988 says, anything on Irish girls? I did my best to marry an Irish girl. Not really an Irish girl, but... my wife is a redhead. Long, flowing red hair. She's absolutely gorgeous. And that was one of the things that attracted me to her. Now, I didn't go to Ireland to find her. I found her in Kentucky. Which is why I was in Kentucky, and that's where I bought that horrible cigar. Whew, the thought of that cigar is just making me cringe. All right, I've got to flush out the memory of that cigar. Oh, wait. We can't be Philistines on live television. Nothing happened. Ghoulbreath says, how is Nova? She hasn't been in the chat for so long. She's doing very well. She's watching the kids upstairs right now. She's been playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. That's her big game. And she also really enjoys her privacy. Her privacy and privacy for the kids. So she doesn't like coming on the show very often. She doesn't really want the kids on the show too much. And that's fine. I've got my little thing going on down here. And we can keep that separate. Fancy Narwhal says, Oxhorn, are you going to do a revision of Sanctuary Hills to have a more Vault-Tec theme to it? Great question. Probably not. I really like the Sanctuary Hills feel of Sanctuary Hills. There are only a few other settlements in the game where you have those sort of 50s inspired dilapidated houses. I believe Greentop Nursery is one. A few others have those same kind of houses. And so it's actually really nice to go to Sanctuary and see all of those houses and try to repair them. That's what I did. If you check out my Sanctuary Hills build, you'll see that I did my best to repair all of those little houses and then decorate each one up as if it had been decorated and the war never happened. But I think that it would really stand out to have a big vault in the middle of Sanctuary Hills. It wouldn't really make sense, especially since it's a stone's throw away from Vault 111 already. So, probably not. Now, I did build an above-ground vault at the Boston airport on another character. And I recorded that session, and I'm uploading it right now. So in the coming days, you'll be able to join me for building a vault above ground at the Boston airport, which I think is a great location for a vault because it's got a wonderful view of downtown Boston. Entity Files says, what do you think Nuka World will add to the workshop menu? If I had to guess, and I'm only at the guessing stage right now, I have no data. But if I had to guess, I would say that Nuka World is going to be adding a lot of decorations. Probably no building textures, probably no new pieces of shack that you can build. But I'm guessing that you're going to get a lot of Raider decorations and Nuka World inspired decoration, like glowing neon, bottle signs, and maybe some glowing lettering and stuff that you would find in this chintzy little Nuka World inspired theme park. I'm guessing those kind of decorations will be available in your workshop. But that's just a guess. Keeper of Lenneth says, hey, I made it in time. Yes, you did. Thank you for coming. Glad you made it. Shame490 says, I'm sorry if this came up before, but is there any successor, or spiritual or otherwise, to The Tale of Cloran Hastings? And he is, of course, talking about my novel, The Tale of Cloran Hastings. Those who don't know, I wrote my own novel years ago and published it back in 2012 or something like that. And it's available on Amazon and a number of other online retailers. And it's a fantasy novel about a man and his ship. And I had a lot of fun putting it together. But many people will read it and say, hey, is there going to be a sequel? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, I have a sequel in mind. It was always written with the idea of there being a sequel, which is why it ended the way it did. But the flip side to that is that writing a novel takes a great deal of time. And when you're a husband and father trying to run a career and build a YouTube channel at the same time, you pretty much have zero free time. So, maybe someday. Maybe someday when I'm old and gray and I have nothing left to do, I'll write that book instead of dying. I had a copy of it sitting around here somewhere. The Great Azal says, I've been getting ready for my Caligula playthrough. Any suggestions? I'm already planning on having a Mirelurk as my head advisor. What? Confused. Are you talking about playing Fallout 4, but role-playing as Caligula? A.K.A. Caligula Tiny Boots from the Roman days? Okay. Cool. Let me know how that goes. Sounds interesting. Greg Hartung says, should we mention that Hearthstone's new adventure mode is out and the prologue is free? Hey, check that out. Is that the Dalaran? I mixed up Karazhan and Dalaran. Is that the Dalaran expansion that I've been seeing ads online for everywhere? It sounds fascinating. Frosty Dog says, Oxhorn, quick question. What does it take to get such a great beard such as yours? I've been trying for so long, but it never looks classy enough. Well, the key there is to let it grow. What I have found, and this may not be the case with you, but what I have found is many people who want to grow an epic beard, they get restless and impatient. And they take the clippers to it, and it's growing, but it doesn't look right, and so they try to style it, and they'll trim it, and they just mess with it, but they don't allow it to do what it was meant to do, and that's just to grow. So if you want to grow a beard, I suggest that you take 6 months out of your life and just let it do its thing. Wait 6 months, let your face grow what it can, and then, and only then, when you're done, shave it off. If you want. If you don't like it, shave it off or trim it or style it. But don't touch it for 6 months. That would be my suggestion. The Purple Tie 1 says, what's your Twitch channel? It's twitch.tv/Scotch and Smoke Rings. All one word. Voicemail, that's right. Thank you, Cigar Ox. All right, let's go ahead and see, see if we have any recorded messages. And we do. We have 2 recorded messages today. First on the list today is Madman Max. You're on the program. What is on your mind, good sir?
Greetings, Oxhorn. 'Tis I, Madman Max here, once again to bring you another marvelous question. Today we're going to go through the first 3 lots of World of Warcraft: Vanilla, BC, and Wrath of the Lich King. Right. The first one is, can you name the 3rd boss in Icecrown Citadel? Which boss in Tempest Keep drops the Ashes of Alar? And the one for vanilla is, which was the second raid to open up? Have fun with these questions, Oxor. Let's test your knowledge.
Thank you, Madman Max. As always, you bring wonderful questions about a game I haven't played in 6 years to the table. Thank you. Thank you. The answer is I have no idea. I'm just gonna say it, Madman Max. I have no idea what the answers to these questions are. Let me know, please, in the chat, because I'm fascinated. I'm just so curious. Mads Evadra says the answer is Scotch. That is my answer. The answer? Scotch. All right. Next on the program is Andy the DK. What is on your mind, good sir?
Greetings, Sir Oxhorn. It is I, Andy the DK. Unfortunately, there will be no Scotch Watch tonight or Fallout 4 trivia. I've decided, by the way, that I'm going to rotate them every week to keep it fresh, to keep it new. So one week I'll do Scotch Watch, the next week I'll do Fallout, and so on and so on. But anyways, I will not be doing them tonight because we just had a terrible thunderstorm where I live on the East Coast, and the power is completely knocked out. So I have none of my utilities at hand to do my segment. So I just wanted to say I will be watching, and I hope you all have a lovely evening, and I shall talk to you next week with Scotch Watch on the rise for next week. So thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Take care.
I almost thought you were going to say Scotch Watch on the rocks. But Scotch Watch on the rise. Well, I'm glad. I hope you make it to the show, Andy. I hope you're here, and thank you very much for the comment. Sorry that you had internet problems. Madman Max gives us the answers and says, Gunship fight Kalthas, Sunstrider, ruins of Ankiraj. Ankiraj. That's going to make sense to someone. That's going to make sense. DJ said one of the littlest things, but one of my favorites about your vault was to see that you used the Evil Viking mod. It's fun to see two of my favorite creators referencing each other. Yes, I wanted to find some sort of Minuteman propaganda, and that particular mod by Evil Viking is just excellent. You know, it's got the banners, it's got the posters, it's got everything you could possibly want with a Minuteman propaganda mod. So I've got the banners hanging in my vault. It's perfect. The Bancy Fadger says, no Scotch Watch? But Ox, can we still watch Scotch? I feel like there should be some sort of Dr. Seuss book called Scotchy Watch watches Scotch. Can you watch Scotch in your socks? 5 brown foxes watch Scotch in their socks. I'm sure there's a Dr. Seuss book in there somewhere. I'd have a lot of fun with that, wouldn't I? Alan Hutchinson, sorry, says, greetings, Oxhorn. It's good to finally be here live, and it's a pleasure to have you on the program live. I'm glad you were able to make it. Madman Max says, Oxhorn, you made a video of the ruins of Ankiraj. How could you forget? Look, I know that when you go back and watch one of my old videos, it seems fresh because you just watched it, right? It's fresh in your mind because you just watched it for the 10th time 30 seconds ago. But for me, I haven't watched that movie in 10 years because I made it 10 years ago. So for me, it's like it's older than my children, it's older than my career, it's older than my marriage, it's 10 years old, so I haven't been there. My mind has not been in Ankiraj for a very long time. So that's why I forget things like that, because they are very finite, intricate aspects of a storyline in a video game that has evolved significantly over the 10 years that it's been around. Just saying. Man Max says, Oxhorn, it's red snapper. Your favorite. Ah. Red snapper? Just a little red snapper. The Massive Actress is way better than the fox in the socks. How many socks do these fox rocks? Should we put rocks in our fox's scotch? Shall we put scotch in our red fox's socks? Shall we put rocks in the socks filled with scotch that we put on the fox? I could write a good Dr. Seuss book. I think I could. The Remote Donut says, hello, Oxhorn. Do you have any good advice for small YouTubers just starting out? I could use some help. Sure. Let's see. Well, okay, there's a lot that I could talk about, but I'll try to be brief. Basically, the key to finding success, as if I've found it yet, I'm not quite where I want to be yet, but in my opinion, the key to finding success is authenticity and consistency. If you are consistency authentic, you will find success. What I mean by that is that there are so many people out there who are trying to do what other people are doing. Or when they sit down to record their video, they adopt this fake newscaster voice. I'll do so every now and then in jest when I'm making fun of something. But they'll sit there and they'll go, you know, they'll have this fake radio voice, which sounds kind of lame. Like they're kind of jerks. And they try to fake it instead of being authentic. So I think that instead of trying to create a personality for your YouTube channel, you should just give people your actual personality. People are much more interested in who you really are than who you're pretending to be. Many people ask me, hey Ox, do you dress like that outside the show? And I always laugh when I get that question because they're basically saying, Oxhorn, you look very strange. And really, the hat is the only thing I put on for the show. Everything else, I forgot my suspenders today, but everything else, like I'm about to go on a business trip and I'm gonna be flying to San Diego in suspenders and this shirt. Right? It's not like I've got my own Oxhorn Road wardrobe. Anyway, these YouTubers will try and invent these fake personalities for their YouTube channels, and everyone can see through it, and it's just not interesting. People don't want to get to know a fake person. They want to get to know at least somebody who appears to be approachable and real. So that would be my advice. Don't try and fake it. Be authentic. And then the next piece of advice is going to be consistent. Nobody wants to subscribe to a YouTube channel that posts a video once every month, or doesn't maintain a realistic YouTube publishing schedule. I'll get sometimes, and here's another thing. Sometimes YouTubers will try to advertise their channels on my videos. They'll say, "Hey, if you like Oxhorn's video, click here and check out my video on the same topic." And thankfully, I never have to do anything about those comments because the YouTube comment filtering system is really sophisticated. The only reason I know about those comments is because sometimes I'll check my spam tab, and they've already been relegated to spam. But sometimes people will do that, and then you go and you check out their channels, and you find that the channel maybe has 10 videos, and half of those videos are are uploads that they made 3 years ago when they were talking about Justin Bieber, and they're just now getting into video games. And they did a video on GTA 5 6 months ago, and then the last video they did is this Fallout 4 video that they just published. And you realize, taking a look at a channel like that this person isn't committed. They haven't really produced a lot of time and content, and so naturally you're not going to want to subscribe to that person. So when you first start out, it's going to be really tough, and it's going to be really discouraging, because you're not going to get the views you want on content that is really good, and you're not going to be getting the subscribers that you want on content that you put a lot of time and care and attention into. And that can be real discouraging, and I completely understand why that might make people not want to go through with it. But if you can stick it out and keep doing it, you do have a shot of getting subscribers. Trevor Green gives his advice. He says, number 1, be consistent. Number 2, be entertaining. Number 3, be yourself. That's my YouTube advice. And that's a good point. You could be yourself, but if you've got the personality of a wet blanket, you're not going to get a lot of subscribers. And maybe that's why some YouTubers don't want to be themselves on their YouTube channels, because they've got the personalities of a dishcloth. And in situations like that, maybe my advice on being yourself is not the best. So be entertaining. I guess that's the best advice. You got to be entertaining. There's got to be something about what you're producing that keeps people watching the video. Troy Thormond says, I'm sure it was asked, so can anyone answer if he's going to play No Man's Sky? I am so excited about No Man's Sky. It comes out tomorrow, but I leave on my business trip tomorrow. Oh, it's killing me. I'm really excited about this business trip. We need to do it as a company, and I'm so happy to be able to see all of my coworkers tomorrow. But No Man's Sky comes out tomorrow, and I had planned, before this business trip was scheduled, to sit down and produce a bunch of content about No Man's Sky. I'm really excited about it. From the very beginning, my channel has always been Oxhorn's Everything channel, not just a Fallout 4 channel. It just so happens that Fallout 4 is the only game that's capturing my imagination right now, and so I'm producing a lot of content about Fallout 4. But I fully intend to expand my channel to tackle other games as they come out, and No Man's Sky is a game that I think is going to be really fascinating, especially since they announced base building. When they announced that I could sit down and do some base building, boy, I'm excited about that. But Troy says, blast, that's terrible luck. It's good and great things are happening, though. Yes, I know it is terrible luck, but you know what? When I get back, I'm going to sit down. I already purchased No Man's Sky. I'm going to leave my computer on. It's going to download and install the game while I'm away. And when I get back, after recovering from the trip, I'm going to sit down and play a little bit of No Man's Sky. I'll probably do some streams here on YouTube and Twitch of No Man's Sky, so you guys will be able to join me. But I am excited about that. Another game I'm excited about is We Happy Few. Is that what it's called? It's a dystopian survival game. And I'm not typically thrilled with survival games because they seem to be overdone these days. Nobody wants to play the same survival game that they've played over and over again. But you know what? No Man's Sky is a survival game. But it's so much more than just a survival game. Anyway, We Happy Few has captured my imagination as well because it's set in this 1960s London dystopian universe, post-war, when people were trying to grasp on what their national identity is. And you've got this town where everybody takes happy pills called Joy in order to avoid the realities of the dark world that they live in. And the story is that you decide to stop taking your joy, and so the citizens of the town try to hunt you down. And so you've got to survive while avoiding all of these people wearing these creepy masks trying to hunt you down. It just looks really interesting to me. So I'd like to play that. All at the same time while Nuka World is coming out. Harry Wolf says, I think that there will be at least 4 new settlements in Nuka World just because it seems like the place will be divided by 4 factions in 4 areas. That's a good point. I forgot about that. New settlements. That's right. Far Harbor came with 4 new settlements. Goodness gracious. I bet you Nuka World will come with 4 new settlements as well. That means I'm going to have to build 4 new settlements. All right, well, I'll have to check that out. I am excited about Nuka World. I have a lot of content to produce. Will you ever revisit the castle lived in settlement build, asks Bryson Schatzer. Eventually, yes, but I'm actually pretty pleased with my castle build. The only thing that I would change is I want to repair the walls better. I get a lot of comments saying that the way that I repaired the walls was a little underwhelming. So yes, I would like to repair the walls better. And then I need to make a general's quarters and a brig. And that's really it. I'm pretty pleased with everything else that I made there. So not a lot that needs to be changed on my castle build. Sydney says 4. I only have 1. Which settlements? There's Old Longfellow's Cabin. There's the Visitor Center. There's Echo Lake Lumber Mill. And there's Dalton Farm. Those are the 4 new settlements in Far Harbor. I've built them all, by the way, so if you want to watch a build on those, check them out on my YouTube channel. Headshot Harry says, on the farm settlement, I can't think of what to build. Plus, you can't remove the broken house. Any recommendations? Which farm settlement? Dalton Farm? Because if you're talking about Dalton Farm, you can actually scrap the broken houses that are there. There are 2 broken, dilapidated houses in Dalton Farm that you can scrap. What I did is I rebuilt them. I scrapped them and then rebuilt them the way that the floor plan of those houses were. Finch Farm has a little shack that you can't scrap, but those are the only 2 that I know of that are called farm. Gentle Lady says, I'm listening to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, and it's scary. Your voice has never been more disengaging. Well, don't listen to both. Pick one. Just I'm streaming live on both YouTube and Twitch to reach 2 different audiences, not so that you can watch them both side by side. Just pick one. Pick one. Robin2258 said, I thought it was called a stockade in a castle and a brig on a ship. Well, maybe it was. Maybe it is. I'll have to get my nomenclature down pat before I do my video. The Remote Donut says, I know you've already talked about this, but I was wondering, how do you record and edit your videos? That's a great question. And I am happy to answer great questions from people whom I have already answered in the past. The answer is that I use the Adobe Creative Suite for editing my videos. So Adobe Premiere Pro is what I do to edit and splice my videos together. When I need to do special effects, I use Adobe After Effects. Thankfully, I don't have to do very many special effects for the kind of videos that I produce. I use a software, a free piece of open source software called Audacity to do all of my audio editing. It's a great little piece of software. And then I use Fraps to do all of my video recording. Siska says, "Hey Ox, just got here. I loved your Vault 88. Keep up the good work. Cheers." Thank you very much. I put a lot of love into that vault. I was ready to put it beside me, put it behind me. It was a lot of fun to put together, but I'm happy to move on to other things now. It was 2 weeks of straight work, but I'm thrilled with how it turned out, and I was really happy to share it with you all. Hellhound says, "We Happy Few looks to me like it'll be a pain, and No Man's Sky looks to me like it'll bore me to death within the first couple of days. Believe me, I wanted to play both badly. But you know, you never know until you try. I mean, you can do all sorts of research about a game, but until you actually sit down and play the game, you really don't know. So I'm going to try playing both when they come out. I'm a little disappointed in We Happy Few because I believe that it's available for, like, they're going to have like a pre-purchase where you can play a beta version of the game. And I always hate it when indie developers do that. I don't want to spend my money on a version of the game that is incomplete. I want to spend my money on a game that's complete. And you can update it with patches and so forth, and you can perfect the game. But I don't want to buy a game that's only got one chapter to the story. And you can't move any forward until you revisit the game 6 months into the future. That's what upset me about Subnautica. I really enjoy Subnautica as a game. It's a game that I'm probably going to revisit again in the future. But when I was really excited about it at the beginning, I wanted to know more about the story, and now I know that you can build all sorts of underwater structures, but at the time you were very limited, and so I kind of did everything I could in Subnautica, and then I wanted to do more, but it hadn't been made yet, and so I had to leave. But I'm sure I'll get back to Subnautica in the future. Jeff Fret41 says, "Hey Oxhorn, this is the first time I've gotten to a Scotch and Smoke Rings episode before it was over. Your Vault 88 is awesome. I've taken inspiration from your builds in mine. Thanks a bunch." You are very welcome. I really appreciate your feedback. Thanks so much for coming onto the program. Gordon says, "Do you use an ENB?" And yes, I do, but I don't recall the name of it. But I do link to it in the text document that you find in every single video I publish. So just check out my mod document and you'll see my ENB listed up there. Big Stacks 2 says, "You introduced me to Audacity years ago and I'm still using it. Thanks, Ox." You bet, Big Stacks. Audacity is great. Trevor Green says, "I use the new Windows 10 editing software. It's just like Sony Vegas." I hear great things about Sony Vegas, but I'm an Adobe guy. I learned how to use Adobe products, and that's just how my mind works now when it comes to editing video. Devlin says, "This is actually the first episode I've caught in, say 2 years." Well, we have been doing this show for 7+ years now. So, I'm just glad you made it back. Alright, it's time for Scotch. Brilliant. Schwillis says, "Hey Oxhorn, do you have any idea how to light Vault 88's unlightable lights near the entrance? If so, do you care to show? Is there a mod, or did you find a way to fix them?" There is no way to light the Vault's unlightable lights at the beginning. So we are dependent upon modders. Thankfully, I saw a mod pop up on the Nexus today that does exactly that. It lights the unlightable lights at the beginning of Vault 88. So head on over to Nexus Mods and check out the most recent files that have been posted, and you will see it. Behold, I'm Pulse says, "Ox, I just recently subbed and I love the videos you upload. All the hard work you put into your settlement builds are super awesome." Very, very cool. Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Alan says, "Ox, wiggle your beard, and I will remember it when I'm on my deathbed." There are worse things to remember on a deathbed. All right, you promised. Here we go. You'll be thinking about me on your deathbed now. Hellhound says, "Scotch? No, sir. Whiskey." I mean, Scotch is a form of whiskey. The difference between Scotch and whiskey is that it's made in Scotland. It's a whiskey from Scotland. Sydney Aldrich says, "I said this in my Gentle Ladies account on Twitch, but do you use Blit, Bloit, Flack, Bolskret, and Chack in your everyday speech?" No, only because I don't curse in my everyday speech. So I don't have to replace the words because they don't come up in my daily life. PVC Dude says, "How do you organize the work on your settlements? Do you take notes, sketches, plans, or something like that?" No, nothing like that. I just sort of walk into the settlement and feel my way around. That's the way I did my vault. I didn't do any sketches or plan anything. I just kind of started building, and it became what it became. Oxhorn, I was wondering if you naturally say whiskey like Stewie, or is that something you just like to say? Hillary Clinton is asking me that question, by the way. Well, whatever could you possibly mean? Jeffrey Dean says, "Can you put a cigar in your beard?" Yes, I could. I'm not going to, but I could. Hey, buddy. Daddy's smoking. You shouldn't be down here. I've got the windows open, so there's no big smoke coming on. Daddy's doing a show. See, that's... Do you see yourself? Hey, Schwills, thank you very much for the donation. Do you see yourself? That's you. That's you in the camera.
Camera?
Camera, see, that's the camera, and that's you. Oh, what's that, boy? He's waving, see? That's right, that's you. Hi, Gavin. Yeah, that's you, and that's Daddy. Daddy, Kevin.
I'm gonna get Mom coming.
Who's coming? Mom's coming?
Yep.
Yep.
Watch.
And well, the door's open, and Daddy's doing a show. So you need to go upstairs with Mama, okay?
What?
No, you can't watch. He's wanting to watch cartoons on my other monitor. Sometimes he'll come down, sit in a chair next to Daddy, and watch cartoons on one of my other monitors. I'll put the headphones on him, and then I'll work on a settlement or I'll do something over here. But not right now. Daddy's doing a show right now, okay? So you need to go upstairs and spend time with Mama and Sissy. All right? All right, I'll talk with you later. Go upstairs. Oh, buddy. Buddy. Calm down. What?
Laptop.
Laptop? Is the laptop dead?
No, laptop.
What about the iPad? Where's the iPad?
No.
You don't have the iPad? All right, well, you have to tell Mama. Tell Mama. Tell Mama that the iPad's dead. And tell Mama to charge the laptop. And close the door. Close the door, kiddo. Thank you. Gavin, look, I named him Gavin long before Fallout 4 ever came out. I'm just saying. So I did not name him after Maxon.